everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Show you what I'm messing with today. Been pretty busy lately, so I haven't got a whole lot of videos up. As far as my day job, I've been overseeing a large project, so that's had me pretty busy. But I have been still doing some projects around the house. One of those being doing curbing around all of our landscape beds. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. We do have like a river gravel as far as our landscape, and it's kind of a pain if you have it and you don't have landscape curbing. It's a pain to try to keep it out of the grass and keep the grass out of the rock. So one thing I'd been wanting to do for a while was to add some curbing around all the landscape beds, and then out back it was kind of a dual purpose because of some water issues we've had. If you go back a few videos, I talk about adding in some drains that I had to run all the way to the street because we have had some water issues. So I'll quit rambling about that, but I'll kind of show you how I've been doing the curbing. I've priced it in our area looking at anywhere from $15 to $20 a foot. I didn't want to pay that, and being one of the things that I do pretty regularly day to day is working with concrete, so I've just been kind of taking my time, bag mixing it, and doing a little bit as I go. So I'll turn the camera around, show you kind of how I've been doing it, and then as well as some of the stuff that I've already established. All right, so as I was saying, here's an area that I've been working on getting established, and this is just kind of how I've been doing it, and doing it in small sections at a time. Typically I do a little more footage than this, but some of the trim that I used to make a radius form, I guess you'd say, it just isn't long enough for me to really start to tie back onto it and go straight down the landscaping here. So I'm going to do a short section, let that set up, and then how I've been doing it in some other spots is I've actually used fence pickets for all of my form work. It's about the height that I wanted. It's fairly easy to work with. I don't have to rip a lot of material down. If you pick out some straight ones, it doesn't do too badly. So these are just pieces of PVC trim that you can get back in the trim aisle at Home Depot. I figured it would make a good flex form as far as being able to bend it. So that's pretty much what you're seeing here in the white. Like as I said, it's not making my full radius, so I've stopped right there. What I've done in and around the back on all the area that I have already done curbing is once I've finished with this section, all the concrete set up and everything, I'm able to just take a squeeze clamp, put my form boards or fence pickets right up against this curbing here, clamp it onto the curb I've already established, and continue on. And it just makes it pretty easy. It's not overly difficult to do. I think it looks good for what it is, but I am able to also add, you can see there's some rebar inside of the curbing. I wanted to do that just to try to make it a little bit stronger. Like I was saying previously, you can see how bad the grass, this is an area I haven't cleaned out yet, but how bad the grass and the rock starts to get kind of blended. That makes it really tough to weed eat. It's just a lot of different things. So I've wanted to do this for a while. I've had some Bermuda getting in here, so it's creeping up into the landscape. So I'll walk around the other side of the house now, and I'll show you the other area that like I said, here's one of the other portions of the house that I've already done the curbing on. Now obviously I've still got to get some grass back growing, and I'm going to do a kind of a runway area, a couple of concrete drive lanes with some river gravel in the middle for our camper to sit on, but that'll be at a later point. Can share that with you all as well. But this is basically how the curbing's coming out, and I think it's doing a great job. Back here, one of the biggest reasons that I needed the curbing was because of the water, as I was saying before. If you followed the previous videos, I have a couple of low point drains out here in the yard, or sorry, it's right here, and it's just really hard to get the water out of this area. If we get kind of a flooding rain that comes down really quickly, it can fill up in this area if these drains aren't able to handle it, and it winds up pushing back up against the house. So a big reason that I wanted to be able to establish, you know, this whole entire back side was to keep the water away from the house. I dished it out right here just to, if the downspouts or the gutters, whatever, overrun, that it does have an area to get out. but I did it kind of in line with where my drain is over here. So hopefully that would be the last area that would be backing up. But the last time we had a pretty good rain, it did really well. It didn't get up towards the house or anything. Like I said, I've still got to get some grass growing back here because it is so bare. I've still got some limbs to take up on this tree. That's why you're seeing so much of the dirt on the curbing. Kind of give you a closer look at it. I've basically just done a wet brush on the concrete once it started to solidify and set up a little bit, and then I added in some more expansion joints, or really they're just more decorative joints to make it not look so much like commercial curbing. Kind of give it almost more of a stone look, but it's came out pretty decent. I'm happy with it. I'm definitely happier than paying $15 or $20 a foot for this stuff. And it's serving the purpose. So I think once all of this gets seeded and grass back growing in, it'll definitely have a much better look, and I need to add some gravel in it around here. So So again, it's not overly complicated. I wanted to share it with you all because it is something that you can do as a homeowner. I know some other people that have done this as well, but it seems like, oh, that's going to be a daunting task. That's a lot of concrete to mix up by hand. I take my time with the wheelbarrow. It's really not even difficult. I just do an 80-pound bag at a time. I form no more than I really want to do at a time. If you get stuck or you say you run out of concrete or whatever, it's easy enough to add a small block down into the form and stop your pour right there and finish up, clean up, and move on. It's really not that difficult to kind of do it in sections and stages. That back section that I just showed you is probably in the neighborhood of 150 feet, and it probably took me a week of just off and on doing it as I had time. So I'll close the video out with a little bit of footage of working on this section and trying to get some poured in. But again, it's really not difficult. If you got any questions, you can always, drop me a comment in the comments section. But I want to show you what I was working on. I got a few other projects coming up, and hopefully we'll be seeing you guys soon. Thanks, and have a good day.